In recent days, some pictures of Chinese Sukhoi Su-35 fighter jets surfaced, in which it was shown that China's Su-35 fighter jets were escorting the Chinese heavy transport aircraft ZNY-20. They were seen carrying an air-to-air combat mission configuration, meaning they were loaded mostly for air combat. Now, whether this was a photo op or pictures taken during an actual mission, we cannot say. However, we do know that the Chinese send their Y-20 aircraft to different countries around the world. These heavy military transport aircraft carry military equipment from one place to another. If China wants to send military equipment, for example, to Iran, it would use these Y-20 aircraft. Recently, there were reports that several Y-20 aircraft landed in Iran. Western analysts and observers said that China had started delivering heavy equipment to Iran. Such heavy transport aircraft need escort because you cannot leave them unprotected, otherwise, an adversary could target them. Once damage is done, not only do tensions rise, but your mission in transporting equipment from one place to another gets disrupted. Therefore, protecting these heavy transport aircraft is extremely important. The Su-35 fighter jets flying with the Y-20 were seen carrying R-77-1 missiles. These are basically beyond visual range missiles. They were also carrying R-73 and R-74 short-range missiles. In addition, electronic warfare pods were visible, which are usually mounted on the wingtips of almost all Su-35 fighter jets. China purchased these Su-35 fighter jets in 2015, and the total number was 24. The deal was worth around $2 billion. From this, you can estimate how cheaply Russia was selling aircraft in 2015. 24 is a significant number, and the Su-35 is not a small aircraft, it is a twin-engine fighter. It is said that China basically bought these jets for their Russian 3D thrust vectoring engines. This was the last aircraft China purchased from Russia. Before that, China had purchased many aircraft from Russia, some of which were later produced under license and even exported, such as the J-6 and J-7, which was based on the MiG-21, as well as Su-27 and Su-30 variants. The Su-35 is an extremely advanced version of the Su-27. It is equipped with the Irbis-E radar. It is also reported that radars are installed in the wing roots to provide better detection support. Composite materials were used to control weight. The aircraft was designed to reduce its radar cross-section, and its nose profile was specially redesigned for that purpose. It is powered by AL-41F1S engines, which are considered very powerful. Because of these engines, the aircraft can perform exceptional maneuverability and long-range operations. Its thrust-to-weight ratio is high due to powerful engines and reduced weight from composite materials. In the Ukraine war, Russia used the Su-35 extensively. Ukrainians shot down some Su-35 fighter jets, and their images were seen. At the same time, Su-35 jets also shot down many Ukrainian fighter jets in air-to-air combat. You could say that in the Ukraine war, the Su-35 collected many war trophies and proved itself to be highly capable in traditional air combat. Now, why did China purchase only 24 of these jets? By that time, China had already inducted its J-16 into service. The J-10, a modern lightweight fighter jet, was being produced in large numbers. China had also unveiled the J-20, and development was ongoing. It is said that China noticed some shortcomings in the Su-35. One was its outdated data link. The Chinese believed they had already developed better and more secure data links for communication between aircraft. Its network-centric warfare capabilities were limited compared to Chinese aircraft like the J-16, J-11, and J-15. Because of this, China did not give much attention to the Su-35. It could not integrate properly into modern Chinese combat networks the way indigenous aircraft could. The air-to-air missiles that came with it, such as the R-77-1, were not as capable as China's PL-12 at that time. Today, China has the PL-15, which easily outranges the PL-12 and R-77 missiles. Modern weapons integration on the Su-35 was not easy and would require Russian permission. Meanwhile, the Americans had developed the AIM-120D, which was superior to the R-77-1. China has also developed PL-16 and PL-17 missiles. Within visual range, the Su-35 could carry R-73 and R-74 missiles, but China had introduced PL-10, which outperforms the R-73. So why did China buy these aircraft? First, as mentioned, engine technology, especially thrust vectoring, was important. China likely wanted to study Russian aerospace technology. Another reason could be dissimilar air combat training. These aircraft could also be used to benchmark Russian fighter development progress against Chinese programs in 2015-16. Some people say China could equip these aircraft with better Russian missiles like the R-37M to threaten adversary tankers and AWACS aircraft from long range. In that way, China could still utilize these 24 jets. However, China does not really need them in large numbers because it already has many operational J-16s, and the J-20 fleet is expanding daily. China is even developing sixth-generation aircraft now. So there is little reason for China to heavily modernize or expand the Su-35 fleet. Today, Chinese weapons surpass Russian weapons in the air-to-air domain. Russian air-to-air missiles lag behind both American and Chinese missiles. That is why China is now using these Su-35 aircraft mainly for escort missions, training purposes, and perhaps limited operations, not for major strategic missions. For lower importance missions, China can use these Su-35 jets.